I'm so hungry. All right, people, we're back. We're black and we're ready to attack. Let's go after it. Let's get it. Let's open some minds here. Let's close some minds. Let's blow. Let's blow some minds. Open your mouth and put that thing in there because you're about to blow a mind right now. You're about to get brain juices everywhere. But all right, today, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? Feeling pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. I feel really, really not good right now. Like genuinely, I do not feel good. I feel really bad. This is like one of the worst I've ever felt. I wonder why. Could be a multitude of reasons, but oh my goodness, I feel really not good. Like currently, in the state of right now, I'm not feeling good. Um, oh God. This is tough. This is a rough one today. Because I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling really ill. Um, but let's get into it. Saw a video of Joe Biden. Saw actually two videos of Joe Biden sniffing girls' hair this week. One was like, the woman was like recording right next to her face and the baby and Joe, and he was like, "Let me whisper something into your baby's ear," and then he goes up and he does like a like audible sniff, but he says, "I need to whisper a secret to your baby." He's like, "Don't tell mommy that." Just still weird, regardless of if he was sniffing or not.
Yeah. You're good. Let me whisper a secret. Don't tell mommy what I told you.
But I don't know. What does he get from sniffing children? I don't know. I've never even heard of that. But maybe it's better. Maybe that's like the step below killing them and drinking their blood. So maybe he's actually doing the good things. Like, I don't want to kill. I don't want to drink blood. So maybe I'll just sniff. And the sniffing actually does a lot of help. Like, it actually gives him a lot of power. It's what it keeps him going. The sniffs. It's like Coke for him. He just has a little bump of baby, and he's off to the races. It's like Hunter with Coke, and all his drugs. Joe is just more of a refined man. He likes his drugs, living and young. Um, but they do have a similarity. They like it up the nose, and that's where it goes for the Biden family. I'm just killing it right now with my rhyming schemes right now. Yeah, but I just don't get how you can be Joe Biden or Hunter Biden. Like, what is your morals? I guess. I mean, I don't really know if Joe Biden's really that bad or Hunter. I kind of feel bad for Hunter Biden because I would be Hunter Biden. Like, I would totally be Hunter Biden. That is the life. He probably is the beacon of hope for all drug addicts. Like every drug addict who is existent in today looks at Hunter Biden and is like, I guess it's not all that bad. But yeah, it's scary. It's scary stuff. I'm scared. I'm feared for all the drug addicts who think they're gonna be the son of the president, and they think by doing drugs they'll be able to maintain that. But yeah, they have fucked up brains. Their minds are fucked. Ain't no question about all that. They have effed up brains. Okay. Um, both and Jill's just there like she might be the most fucking gone out of all of them. I mean, Jesus, Jill, what the f are you? Here's my question to Jill. What are you thinking? Do you regret having this child and husband? I don't know. I would personally. But I also feel bad for Joe Biden. I don't know if many people know this, but my friend told me multiple times. He always likes to let me know that Joe Biden's family all died in a car wreck besides him. That he was also in the car. So that's sad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a special video. I don't really want to give anything away. But this one's short and sweet. So let's just get right into it.
I am a child. I never grew up. I never lived in your society. I never went to school. I never had a mother and father. I raised myself up.
What do you think it is about you that makes people want to be a part of whatever it is you're a part of?
Where does it come from? Where does the energy and power come from? Who recharges your battery? You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so yeah. Thank you for watching. Come back. I gotta restart because there were distractions and just things happening that were causing me to be angry and not fulfill my truest duty, which is this right now. This is my duty right now. I've set time to do this. I wanted to do it, and now there were distractions that made me angry, and I got mad. I got frustrated. But ultimately, you know what? It's good that anger happens, that these things happen. Currently, while I'm talking, I don't know if you can hear it, but there's literally a guy blowing air out of a machine right now, like a fucking leaf blower, and it's getting louder. It's getting louder. I'm just right there. If you can't hear it, that's crazy because I can hear it and I'm pissed. And it just furthers my anger. But you gotta persevere. You gotta get through. You gotta keep going. You gotta overcome the obstacles that are in your way. You have to set your mind up to be okay with these obstacles in the way and understand that some things you can't control, but in those moments, control what you can, which is yourself. Um, yeah, it makes me angry, but it's kind of what I really wanted to talk about today, anyways. And I guess this is a better segue than Joe Biden, but I really want to talk about philosophy. I think it's so important to each of us. God, I'm so pissed. I'm so fucking mad that that thing's blowing that I'm. I really want to talk about philosophy. I think it's so important to each of us. God, I'm so pissed. I'm so fucking mad that that thing's blowing that I'm. Ooh, that I don't have my own space, but it's okay. I'm so angry. Anger is in me right now. I want to kill every person outside of my house and anyone who happens to come inside too. I want to murder them with my own bare hands. They should die. And that's not a good thought. That's a thought that we need to remove. We need to get that out of there. Okay, that's a silly bad thought. Okay, let's just pluck that out. No kill people, thanks. Um, but yeah, philosophy is important because it's just how you live. It's what you do. And I think the modern philosophy of today is be selfish, don't care about others, don't even think about others. It's someone else's fault for not knowing your emotions and feelings. That's the modern um, thought it. Me, I'm the center. Everything else should come to me. Everything I don't want should leave me. And anything that's coming in that I don't want, I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to throw a fit until I don't see that thing. I'm just going to tell you that does not work. Okay? You're going to be effed up. I mean, maybe it will work, and that's even the scarier part. If it does end up working for you as you continue through life, then that just means the whole world accepts this. But here's the problem with that. You have to have another party, a party who is willing to hear and accept and allow this. Because when you have two people who are forced together, like they cannot leave each other, they have different conflicts that one gives one person something, the other person gives something, the other person something that neither of them want. Um, and so they're just gonna cry and scream and then maybe die. I think they'll just end up dying. Um, because neither of them got what they wanted. Their only mode of doing this is yelling and screaming, and when that doesn't work because you're met with someone who is equally as unlikable as you, as irritable, as selfish as you are just gonna die. I think you just die at that point. I don't think, because what are you gonna do? You're stuck in this warp of yelling at each other and being angry and not wanting things, without finding a solution. So I think death is the only option for you people. And you will die eventually. Almost 100% of you will die. That's just the facts. Okay, 100% of you will die. I will die too. Maybe in a similar way. Maybe I'll die yelling at someone and they'll be yelling at me and we'll be stuck in a cosmic yell match. But I don't think that's the way we need to be going as a people. I don't think it's our fault. I think it's the fault of people who are in control of us, whether that be a because anytime anyone is in control of another person, that's an issue. It doesn't matter if it's money or you know, like if it's your boss or if it's your parent or a president or anything like that. It doesn't matter who it is or what their intent is, as long as they're above you and their actions can affect your life in a negative way. You're gonna find unhappiness, or you're gonna I mean, I would just say a lot of people turn angry with that knowledge, knowing that there are people above them that control them in ways that um, they cannot combat. They're stuck. It's like a child to a parent. You do what the parent says. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. Sometimes you think something bad is happening to you, but it's good. So there's all these other things too that are important. But let me backtrack because I'm losing it. I'm losing myself. I want to get back to philosophy. I want to stay on the point that the modern day take of many young people, probably older people too, everyone all on the spectrum, just adopting this idea that this is my world. I do whatever I want with it, and I act however I want. And there are no rules. There are no. This is all just cosmic chaos, and they're all religion's fake. Everything's fake. All laws that man has made are made by man, so they shouldn't matter, right? They're just um it's just a white men keeping us down. You know what I'm saying? It's just rich, white, powerful people keeping us down. Um, I completely forgot what I was talking about. Damn it! Yeah, no. Such a good thought. I'm so pissed. I had so much good energy and thoughts and feelings, and people ruined them. And now I'm gonna yell at you until I die. No, I think people just need to realize that these the universe has laws and balance and order, and um, You know, a planet just can't become a fucking star because it wants to. It's stuck being a planet because that's the law of its nature. All right, it's gonna stay a certain amount of distance from the sun unless something changes. All right, it doesn't get to be the furthest planet just because it wants to be. Um, and you can claim that maybe a planet. How do we know planets are sentient beings or that they once were? Maybe they're dead now. How do we know the Earth isn't alive? You know what I mean? Like, so these planets could be feeling that, and they want to be, a star. They want to be the furthest away from the sun when they're the closest. They want to be bigger than they are. They want to be smaller than they are. They want more rings. They don't want a ring at all. They want more moons. You know what I mean? Maybe the planets feel like that. And if one of the planets was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna move a little closer to the sun because I feel like that. Well, fuck, because the whole world ends, the whole planet explodes, the whole universe loses balance. Something will happen that will completely change the universe because it did that. I mean, the universe might not end, but it'll change the universe forever because of one action of an individual that wanted to do what they wanted, even though for the betterment of the universe and the continuation of it in the current state, this planet would have to keep, its law, its orders, its, the stuff it was always doing for this to be the same because the second, this planet doesn't, it doesn't matter if all the other planets did the best. This one planet moving forward is going to change the whole fate of the universe. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's a drastic comparison, comparing planet to a person, but it's all the same. We live in a balance, right? There are laws that we need to abide by. There are facts. There are things that are true. Um, in nature, you look, you see, trees. If you get, the sky will be blue tomorrow as it was today. Trees will be made out of wood when you plant a seed in the ground and it comes. That'll be wood. All right. And I don't know. I just don't know. The other thing is, whenever people do what they want, happiness does not follow. I mean, listen, there's a fine line between doing what you want, doing what you need to do, doing what you're supposed to do, right? Doing what you're called to do. They're all different things, and I think doing what you want is the worst option of all those because most of the time, what you want isn't what you feel, isn't what you're thinking. It's more of an immediate thing that came to your mind that made you want to act out, right? Act out on it. And when you're not thinking, when you're not feeling, processing these emotions, when you're just acting on what you want, what the brain wants, without, you know, analyzing or thinking, just living, like basically like an animal, you're becoming an animal at that point, and you're thinking, you know what, I really just want to drink today. And yeah, I mean, like you're not even thinking about this, but these are other aspects. You have work, you have family, you have friends, just people who are going to rely on you throughout the day. I mean, maybe you have nothing immediate now, but you don't know what could come. Let's just say you're responsible. You know you have a responsibility, but you feel the urge to drink, so you just do it. You don't think about it. Now you're drunk. Um, and now your kid needs to be picked up from school, but you can't do it. So now someone else has to do it. And so you're creating, because of your action, to get drunk and to not think and process and understand the actions of why getting drunk could be bad. I'm sure your son still gets picked up. It probably wasn't the most inconvenient thing for the person, but what's happening is you're changing someone else's life based off of your decision. You know what I mean? And in that case, it was only two people or maybe three. After school, someone has to watch the kid after school. But the more careless your thoughts are, and the more people rely on you, um, you're fucked. And the thing is, no one wants to be relied on anymore. No one wants to be held accountable for their actions because it's not our fault we're here, right? I didn't choose to be here. I didn't choose to be born with this family or these things. So I should be able to act how I want because it's not fair to me, right? It's not fair. Well, guess what? It's not fair to anybody else either. Even the richest people in the world can be unhappy and kill themselves. And some of the poorest people in the world could be the happiest and most fulfilled, and everything in between, right? So it doesn't really matter where you're born or where you're put or what God gave you because it doesn't really matter what you have. It's all about the internal, which will bring you happiness. Sometimes it's hard. It's actually really hard to adopt that mindset, especially when you're bound to the physical and everything that happens to you physically affects you in all sorts of ways, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Um, and it's kind of hard to make way in the opposite direction with your spirit and your mental and your feelings because all those things are so driven by the physical reality that you're seeing that um it's just easier to become a physical based being more than a spiritual based being. Basically, it's easier to think I'm gonna go out and drink and smoke and do drugs and whatever tonight, because I'll feel great when I'm doing it. And in the moment, everything that matters is happening now. That's just important. Me currently now, because it's the only thing I am processing and can know. Um, so I'm gonna do that instead of taking 10 minutes out of my day to meditate, to think over what are my goals, what do I want. Um, what is my plan for the day? Are those things set up to help me succeed in the future, or are they not? Um, I'm not saying I do that all the time. Fuck. Most of the time, I probably do the opposite. I think of the negative aspects of what could happen, but I do it anyways. Um, but there are positives too to do that. So um, understand why you don't want to do something. Understand what are the pros and cons to the thing I am doing. Um, and is it ultimately going to benefit me? Is it going to hurt me? Is it going to hurt others? Or is it going to benefit others? You got to think about those things every day when you make an action. You have to. Literally, you do if you want this world to be a better place. If you only think about yourself every day, then only your needs will be taken care of in you know. And if you have other people that rely on you, well, then you're the problem, and you can blame these other people because you're doing this and they're not. But if you have a child, if you have a wife that you've made a commitment to, and then you change your mind on that commitment, I mean, that's not fair, really. Um, and that's the other thing. People don't want to commit to anything anymore because, well, one, we've been lied to and manipulated so much, just as a human species of all time, through everything. Um, there has to be some intervention, right, to make us the way we are. I mean, just look at religion, right? I mean, so many aspects of religion um, I guess cross over with each other. Certain aspects, like God, for example, God is something that will always exist, has always existed in terms of the human psyche of what we believe. Is it zeitgeist? Is that the word? Zeitgeist, the human zeitgeist. Well, whatever. Just basically in terms of how we came to be and creation. And in the most simplest forms, God will always be at the root of it. And that's the other. If you don't believe in God, it's so easy to have no morals or believe in. I mean, if you don't believe in God, it can still be an decent person, member of society. That's good. I'm not saying you need God to be a good person, but I feel it definitely is easier. Like, think about this: if you believed in God and you were doing all these things for God and then found out he wasn't real, you probably wouldn't. You'd probably, well, if you were only doing those good things because you thought God was real, you would probably you'd probably become a horrible person, right? Or maybe not. Maybe you would continue to be a good person, but I don't know. I could see. Here's what I'm trying to say. If a person only does good because he believes in God, then when God is taken away from him, so are his ideas of good, right? Someone doesn't believe in God, but lives a moral life. Um, the thing is, though, even if you don't believe in God, you are by living out what he believes is a virtuous life. So it doesn't really matter if you believe in him as a physical being or not, or a real thing. You believe in his ideas and aspects and what he holds value to the world. So you technically still do believe in God, even if you say you don't, but still live through his life, versus if you say you believe in God and don't do anything. The person who does not believe in God is going to be more fulfilled in life, be happier. And maybe that's the best way to do it. Maybe the best way is not to believe in God, but live as God would have lived. You know what I mean? Or what he would have wanted. It's just hard to look at the universe and grasp it. Like, I can easily just have a quick little thought process to where I will be shattered. I'll feel scared. And we'll go through that together. Ready? So here's how we'll start it. First, think of God in any way, shape, or form, however you want to perceive him or not perceive him. Then consider the beginning of the universe, right? The Big Bang. Um, just, and I guess the Big Bang is the easiest one to explain. Is like it was just random, and I mean it doesn't make sense, but nothing makes sense. It was just random, sparse of luck, um, and that's it. That's all there was, ever will be. That still doesn't really give any explanation to life on Earth, or you know the whole configuration of the universe. How as far as we know, Earth is the only planet like it in our current solar system. Yeah, they say there's other galaxies and all this other stuff, but I mean, I don't know how you could possibly know all that information without having some other thing that we don't know about. I don't believe you have a rocket ship and a fucking camera and you're going out to space and figuring all this stuff out. And I mean, I believe you could, and I know math and geometry and all that is a huge part of it. Um, but even that is like, okay, I just don't know. I don't know. Math is too big for me. I mean, I'm not a math guy, but God, it makes me mad how important math is. But it is important, It is. It really is. We couldn't get to the moon without math, or if we ever did get to the moon. But some people say we did get to the moon. Some people say we did. But you know what they all say, that um, regardless if they did or didn't, the footage that was shown to the American people was not real. Stanley Kubrick did it. And the other thing is, if you ever watch the Space Odyssey, it's almost like you could see how easy it would be to like, because that was made in 1968 or something, before, or like, yeah, I think it was before we even went to the moon. This was made. I honestly don't know. It could have been after. But when you watch the movie and you see the shots of space and the planets and the stuff, you just think, how could they do that back then? And then it makes you think, oh my gosh, they could easily do the same stuff now. I mean, like, who knows? Who really knows? There is no way of knowing. Um, yeah, there is no way of knowing, and maybe it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, I wanted to get back to this. How I can make it. Okay, so let's just believe in God. Think of God for a second right now. And then think about whatever you believe in your God. What is the ultimate goal? Because that was always scared me. Like heaven, living forever in heaven. Because I grew up Catholic. Living forever in heaven scared the fuck out of me. That was scarier than death. And because the way they describe it is like, yes, when you die, you're just with God. I mean, you're not doing anything. You're just with Him, and you're happy, and you feel great for eternity. And I was like, and like as a kid, that sounds horrifying. Like just standing in one place enjoying something that sounded like mass, and I hated mass. I was just like, so it's just basically mass forever. And then I got fucking scared because I was like, what? Okay, so this stuff is happening forever, perpetually, no end. What? So I'm just standing here forever. Um, and then I thought, okay, well, why is this guy even doing all this shit? Like, we're just at the whim of this fucking nut job who wants to create this thing, who just created this thing, or it just randomly happened and he was here. Because whenever you start to question God's motive or why, there's no answer. Even if you believe in God, there's no motive to why. Because then you'd have to expand. Let's say God exists and He's here to help us defend against all these evils, right? Well, who put that here and who put God in charge of that? Were they always just here, and why? And what's keeping it from ending totally altogether? You know what I'm saying? That's always so scary too. Is like sometimes I feel like I'm gonna wake up or something's gonna wake up and then it's like over and it's just blackness. But I guess it isn't really that scary because if nothing happened, how would I be able to even process and conceive that? But I don't know. You feel so much in your mind. I always thought it was so weird, like on my body, but like you live up here. You don't fucking. I can't be in my toe if I wanted to. I'm stuck. I'm stuck up here. But yeah, all right. I think that was all I had to say. This was so bad. I'm still gonna post it because I have to. I have to keep up with my work ethic, my grind. I don't care if this was good. This was complete dog shit. And I don't know if you learned anything. Probably didn't. I don't even know if I taught anything or expanded on any ideas. This was just a ramble blamble. Um, and I'm disappointed in myself. I'm very sad. It's also strange. Talked about Joe Biden, then went into philosophy, and didn't really explain philosophy besides the most 2-year-old tardo terms. So yeah, I'm done.